Coming up on 5 Minute News. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, dead at 96. World mourns Britain's stalwart queen as tributes pour in. Death draws to a close Britain's second Elizabethan era and enters the reign of King Charles III. It's Friday, September 9, 2022. I'm Anthony Davis. Britain's longest reigning monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, a symbol of stability in a turbulent era that saw the decline of the British Empire, died on Thursday after 70 years on the throne. She was 96. Buckingham Palace announced her death at Balmoral Castle, her summer residence in Scotland, where members of the royal family had rushed to her side after her health took a turn for the worse. A link to the almost vanished generation that fought World War II, she was the only monarch most Britons have ever known. Her 73-year-old son, Prince Charles, automatically became king and will be known as King Charles III, it was announced. Charles's second wife, Camilla, will be known as the Queen Consort. A funeral will be held after 10 days of official mourning. The flag over Buckingham Palace was lowered to half-staff as the second Elizabethan age came to a close. The impact of her loss will be huge and unpredictable, both for the nation and the monarchy, an institution she helped stabilize and modernize across decades of enormous social change and family scandals, but whose relevance in the 21st century has often been called into question. The public's abiding affection for the Queen has helped sustain support for the monarchy during the scandals. King Charles, formerly known as the Prince of Wales, has not been afforded such popularity. In a statement, King Charles called his mother's death a moment of the greatest sadness for me and all members of my family, adding, "I know her loss will be deeply felt throughout the country, the realms and the Commonwealth, and by countless people around the world." The monarch, for whom abdication was never an option, died peacefully at Balmoral on Thursday afternoon, 2 days after undertaking her final public constitutional duty with the appointment of the 15th Prime Minister of her 70-year reign. Since February 6, 1952, Elizabeth reigned over a Britain that rebuilt from a destructive and financially exhausting war and lost its empire, joined the European Union and then left it, and made the painful transition into the 21st century. She endured through 15 prime ministers, from Winston Churchill to Liz Truss, becoming an institution and an icon, a reassuring presence even for those who ignored or disliked the monarchy. She became less visible in her final years as age and frailty curtailed many public appearances, but she remained firmly in control of the monarchy and at the centre of national life as Britain celebrated her Platinum Jubilee, with days of parties and pageants in June. Elizabeth's inner life and opinions remained mostly an enigma. Of her personality, the public saw relatively little. A horse owner, she rarely seemed happier than during the Royal Ascot Racing Week. She never tired of the companionship of her beloved Welsh corgi dogs. Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Windsor was born in London on April 21, 1926, the first child of the Duke and Duchess of York. She was not born to be queen. Her father's elder brother, Prince Edward, was destined for the crown, to be followed by any children he had. But in 1936, when she was 10, Edward VIII abdicated to marry the twice-divorced American Wallis Simpson, and Elizabeth's father became King George VI. After the death of Queen Elizabeth II, condolences poured in from around the world for a woman who became a global icon of calmness and fortitude through decades of political upheaval and social changes at home and abroad. In India, once a British colony, Prime Minister Narendra Modi called Elizabeth a stalwart of our times. She personified dignity and decency in public life, Modi tweeted. President Joe Biden was informed of her death by senior advisors during a meeting at the Oval Office. Elizabeth, who had met with 14 American presidents at the White House, was a stateswoman of unmatched dignity and constancy, who deepened the bedrock alliance between the United Kingdom and the United States, said Joe and Jill Biden in a statement, saying she defined an era. They later went to the British Embassy to offer condolences. Russian President Vladimir Putin sent a telegram to King Charles III. For many decades, Elizabeth II rightfully enjoyed the love and respect of her subjects, as well as authority on the world stage. I wish you courage and perseverance in the face of this heavy, irreparable loss, Putin said. Elizabeth was mourned across the 54-nation Commonwealth, a group built around Britain and its former colonies. For most Canadians, we have known no other sovereign, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said. He called her a constant presence in our lives, and her service to Canadians will forever remain an important part of our country's history. Former President Barack Obama and his wife Michelle said she made the role of Queen her own, with a reign defined by grace, elegance, and a tireless work ethic, defying the odds and expectations placed on women of her generation. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an Evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.